Your grandmother, who is no longer in this world, is crying from heaven too. My beloved, take a slow breath, because what is coming toward you now is not an ordinary message. It is wrapped in a gentle but powerful spiritual urgency, a softness that comes from heaven, and a firmness that comes from Archangel Michael's voice when he steps forward and declares, "Do not ignore this." You are being asked to open your heart, because the message that wants to reach you is not coming from fear, not coming to shake you, but coming to lift you, protect you, and remind you that heaven watches you more closely than you realize. Archangel Michael is standing closer than any human could ever stand. And he is saying with a voice that carries authority and compassion, "My child, listen now. You are safe. God is with you." Your grandmother's soul is not crying in pain, she is crying because she has waited a long time for you to hear her. Her message is a message of love, of unfinished words, of something she carried in her heart while she lived, something she hoped one day you would understand. And now, with heaven's gentle permission, she is allowed to reach out in a way that touches your spirit through this divine moment. There is no danger in this message, no fear, no negative energy, only guidance, love, and clarity that you have long deserved to know. Archangel Michael says that the reason this message feels urgent is because your life is shifting. Your spirit is rising, and your soul is opening to blessings, and your grandmother has been watching this transformation with a love so strong that her tears became prayers in the spiritual world. They were not tears of sadness, they were tears of longing. Longing for you to know that she never left you, longing for you to understand the depth of her protection, longing to finally tell you the truth she held inside her heart. God has now opened the door for her to speak in the only way that heaven allows, through signs, through intuition, through divine nudges, and through the angels who stand beside you every moment. Archangel Michael says that when your grandmother left this world, something in your spirit changed. A part of you became stronger because you had to grow, but another part of you became quieter, softer, because you felt as though you lost the one person who understood you without judgment. Heaven saw that moment. Heaven saw the way you carried that pain silently. And even when life distracted you, even when struggles came, even when you kept moving without showing what your heart really felt, your grandmother saw all of it, your strength, your tears, your attempts to stay calm, and your hidden prayers. She wants you to know now that she has never missed a single moment of your life since the day she crossed over. She has watched every challenge and every blessing. She has stood close during your darkest nights, and she has whispered strength into your spirit when you felt like you couldn't hold on any longer. She has been asking God for permission to reach you in a way you would finally understand, and Archangel Michael says that today, that permission was granted. She is crying not because she is suffering, souls in heaven do not suffer. She is crying because she loves you so deeply that every moment she sees you hurting, doubting, or carrying burdens alone, her soul feels the ache of wanting to comfort you. And now she is asking, gently but firmly, for you to listen. She wants you to know that something in your life is about to shift. Something you have been praying for, something you have been silently hoping would finally break open. She has been asking heaven to clear a certain path for you, a path that has been blocked for a long time, blocked by circumstances, blocked by people with heavy energy, blocked by your own uncertainty, blocked by the wounds you collected over the years. She wants you to know that this block is beginning to dissolve. She says that you have no idea how close you are to something better. You may feel tired, you may feel restless, you may feel like things are slow, but she is telling you that heaven has already started moving things around for your benefit. Doors that felt permanently shut will open. Opportunities that disappeared will return in better form. People who were meant to leave your life will drift away so that the right souls can enter. You are stepping into a period where God is going to bring alignment, clarity, and protection in ways you did not expect. Your grandmother is crying because she knows what is coming, and she wants you to trust instead of worrying. She wants you to know that you have been protected from things you didn't even know were dangerous. There were situations that would have taken your peace, people who would have drained your spirit, and paths that would have taken you far away from your purpose, but heaven blocked them. She prayed for that protection. And her prayers were answered. She has also been trying to show you signs, small signs you may not have recognized. Moments where you felt chills, moments where you felt unexpectedly emotional, moments where you remembered her out of nowhere, moments where you sensed a presence near you when you were alone. These were not coincidences. Those were her ways of reaching out. Every time you felt comfort unexpectedly, every time you avoided something without understanding why, every time you felt guided to do or not do something, she was there. Archangel Michael says the message she wants to give you has 3 layers: truth, reassurance, and blessing. The truth she wants you to know is that she never left you with any regret. If you ever wondered whether she was proud of you, whether she forgave you for anything, whether she understood your struggles, she wants you to know she understood everything. She saw your heart even when you didn't know how to express yourself. She knew your intentions even if your life was complicated. She never judged you. She never carried disappointment. She only carried love. She wants you to release the heaviness you keep holding. She wants you to stop carrying guilt for things that were not your fault. She wants you to stop believing that you could have done more. She is telling you now that you did enough. You loved her. You honored her. And she has carried your love with her into the next world, where nothing ever dies, only transforms. The reassurance she brings is that you are not alone, no matter how alone you may have felt. God has placed multiple angels around you, including Archangel Michael himself, because your spirit carries a mission that heaven considers important. You may not always feel strong, but heaven sees your strength. You may not always feel special, but heaven sees your light. You may not always feel protected, but heaven has never stopped protecting you. Your grandmother has been standing with Archangel Michael, whispering your name in prayer. She has been asking God to surround you with peace, to open your life to abundance, and to remove anyone who intends harm. She wants you to trust your intuition more because she has been speaking through it. When something feels wrong, it is because she is guiding you away. When something feels right, it is because she is guiding you toward it. She wants you to stop doubting yourself. She wants you to stop lowering your worth. She wants you to stop thinking that your destiny is small. She says that your story is much bigger than you think, and that the challenges you had to face were not punishments, they were preparation. You were not being punished, you were being strengthened for the blessings that are arriving. The blessing she brings is that a breakthrough is coming, and it is closer than you imagine. Something in your energy has recently shifted, something inside you is waking up, and your grandmother is watching this shift with so much joy that it brings tears to her spirit. She is proud of you for surviving what tried to break you. She is proud of you for standing back up after every fall. She is proud of you for continuing to care, even when life gave you reasons to stop. She wants you to know that God is about to place something in your life that will heal a part of you that has been hurting for years. It may come in the form of peace, abundance, opportunity, clarity, or even a person. Whatever it is, it will feel like something you have been waiting for without realizing you were waiting for it. Archangel Michael says, "You are safe. God is with you. Your grandmother stands beside you. Trust this message." She wants you to keep praying, keep trusting, and keep walking forward because every step you take is leading you closer to what God has prepared for you. She is wiping her tears not because she is hurting, but because she is relieved that you are finally listening. You are not alone. You were never alone. And you never will be, my beloved child. Archangel Michael stands beside you right now, and I am delivering this message exactly as God has ordered it to be delivered to you. I am not speaking softly today. I am not whispering gently. I am commanding your attention because this is not something you can skip, delay, or ignore. God says this message is an order, a divine instruction, a heavenly command. The angelic realm has been watching you, surrounding you, guarding you, but today the gates of heaven have opened in a painful way, because someone who loved you deeply in her lifetime is crying, trying to speak to you, trying to reach you with something she never got to say. Your grandmother, the one whose love still lingers in your soul, the one whose prayers still cover you even from the other side, has been trying to deliver this message for a very long time, but you weren't ready then. Today, heaven decided you are ready. So you must open your heart, open your spirit, and let what needs to be revealed come through you without fear. Without hesitation, without doubt, God says you are safe. God says nothing will go wrong with you. God says His presence is surrounding you even as you read this. God says you must trust Him more than you trust your fears. God says your grandmother's message is not here to harm you but to guide you into truth, protection, and restoration. And Archangel Michael says you cannot ignore this. Not today. Not when heaven is crying, not when the spirit of a woman who loved you with her entire soul is trying so desperately to speak. She is not speaking through fear. She is speaking through love, through a truth she could not reveal before she left this world, through a secret she carried quietly. hoping one day God would allow the right moment for it to be exposed. That moment is now. Your grandmother has been watching over you since the day she crossed the threshold into eternal light. She has seen your struggles, your nights of pain, your worries, your loneliness, your confusion about people around you. She has seen you questioning why certain people treat you the way they do, why certain relationships feel heavy, why certain environments drain you, why certain patterns keep repeating in your life. She has watched you give your heart to the wrong places and hold on to burdens that were never meant to be yours. And from heaven, she has cried, not because she is weak, not because heaven is a place of sorrow, but because love does not disappear after death. Love transforms, and from her transformed place, she has been pleading with God, when will my child hear the truth? When will they finally know what I had to hide? Heaven has answered her today. This is that moment. Archangel Michael stands with his sword of truth, cutting the veil between your world and the spiritual. He says, do not be afraid. You must listen. This is serious. This is a divine order. And God Himself speaks over your shoulder saying, my child, trust me. You are protected. You are safe. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will harm you. There is a reason this message is coming now and not before. Your grandmother says you were too vulnerable then. Your heart was still healing. Your path was still forming. You would not have been able to carry this truth without breaking under the weight. But today, heaven sees strength in you, strength you don't even see in yourself. Strength you have earned through pain, through endurance, through silent battles no one ever saw. You think people around you know your struggle, but your grandmother says no one knows what you carry except God and the angels. She has watched you survive things you didn't even have the words to describe. She has watched you cry in places where you told everyone you were fine. And that is why the message had to wait, because you needed to become strong enough to hear it. Your grandmother begins speaking and her voice trembles with emotion, not because she is weak, but because she waited so long for this moment. She says, my child, I didn't leave you. I never left you. I have been with you every night, every morning, every time you called out for help, every time you felt alone. But now I must finally tell you what I couldn't say when I was alive. She says there is something someone in your family did. Something she noticed. Something she tried to protect you from. She says she saw jealousy around you, envy that had no reason to exist, eyes watching you with wrong intention, hearts that pretended to love you but carried hidden resentment. She says she saw people who smiled at you but wished for your life to fall apart. She says she saw people who pretended to support you but were secretly waiting for your downfall. She says she saw a person, someone close to you, take something from you that you still don't know is missing. Something they had no right to touch. Something connected to your destiny, your path, your blessings. Your grandmother says, I kept quiet because I didn't want to shake your world while I was alive. But now the truth must come out. Archangel Michael steps forward and says this truth will not harm you. It will set you free. God is standing over this revelation, shielding your spirit, holding your heart, making sure nothing overwhelms you, your grandmother says when she was alive. She noticed a pattern around you that no one else saw. She saw your kindness being taken advantage of. She saw your trust being misused. She saw your innocence being exploited. She knew you were surrounded by a type of darkness disguised as love. She knew you were connected to someone who didn't value you the way they should have, someone who acted differently behind your back, someone who kept secrets from you. She wanted to protect you, but she didn't have the strength or time to confront it. She says this message is not to frighten you but to awaken you. You have been walking blindly in certain relationships, believing promises, trusting words that were not pure. You have been generous with your heart in places that did not deserve it. You have forgiven people who were not truly sorry. You have carried guilt that did not belong to you. You have been loyal to people who would never do the same for you. And your grandmother says heaven cannot watch this continue. She says the reason your life has felt slow, stuck, blocked, delayed, or confusing is because of one thing. Someone close to you placed a spiritual weight on your life without realizing what they were doing. She saw it when she was alive. She wanted to stop it. She prayed for God to protect you from it. And God did. That is why you are still safe, still standing, still blessed, still protected. But the time has come for you to know the truth. Your grandmother's tears fall because she remembers every moment you cried alone. She remembers the nights you didn't feel loved. She remembers the moments you were misunderstood. She remembers the times you were blamed for things you didn't do. She remembers the times you questioned your worth, the moments you almost gave up, the times you wondered if your life had meaning. She felt every one of those tears from the other side, and she says, if only you knew how heaven moved to protect you while you slept. Archangel Michael confirms this. He says the attacks on your life were real, not physical, but spiritual. He says the jealousy around you created spiritual blockages. He says someone's hidden resentment formed barriers in your path. He says your grandmother's prayers shielded you countless times. He says if it were not for her, certain things that were meant to break you completely would have succeeded. But because of her, because of God's mercy, because of divine protection, nothing touched you the way it was intended. Your grandmother says there is one thing she has been aching to tell you. Something you do not know. Something she hid to protect you. She says someone in your family or close circle carries a deep regret connected to you. Something they did or said that hurt you more than you showed. They act normal now. They act like nothing happened. But inside, they know they wronged you. And she says they are afraid you will one day find out. She says the reason random memories of her keep coming back to you is because she has been trying to prepare your heart for this revelation. She says every time you felt her presence, every time you suddenly thought of her, every time you dreamt of her, it wasn't coincidence. It was heaven aligning this moment. God says He allowed this message now because your season of ignorance is ending. You are not meant to walk blind anymore. You are not meant to be surrounded by deception. You are not meant to suffer silently. You are meant to rise, to see clearly, to step into a path where truth is your shield. Your grandmother says the truth she carries is connected to a blessing that was supposed to reach you, but it got delayed because of someone's interference. She says something that belonged to you was blocked, not taken forever, but paused. But now heaven is releasing it. Now God is restoring what was delayed. Now Archangel Michael is removing the spiritual obstacles. Your grandmother is rejoicing because what was once stuck is about to move. What was once hidden is about to surface. What was once withheld is about to return to you in a greater form. She says if you have ever felt like you deserved more than you received, you were right. If you ever felt someone held you back, you were right. If you ever felt energy around you shifting strangely, you were right. If you ever felt someone was not being honest with you, you were right. She says your intuition has been screaming, but you doubted yourself. Today heaven is confirming everything you felt but didn't understand. Archangel Michael says, "My child, God is lifting you higher now. You cannot be surrounded by lies anymore. You cannot be misled anymore. This message is your liberation." Your grandmother brought it to heaven's throne and asked permission to reveal it, and God said yes. And God says you do not need to fear what you will discover. You do not need to fear who is involved. You do not need to fear the truth. You are divinely protected. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You only need to trust God and continue praying. You only need to keep your heart pure. You only need to keep moving forward. Your grandmother says she is proud of the person you have become. She says she sees your heart and she wishes she could hold you the way she once did. But instead, she enfolds you in heavenly light. She says she never stopped loving you, not even for a second. She says if you knew how precious you are to heaven, you would never doubt yourself again. She says she will continue guiding you. She says she will continue protecting you. She says she will continue comforting you until every part of your life aligns with the blessing God has prepared for you. Archangel Michael says this message is the beginning of your breakthrough. God says this message is the beginning of your freedom. Heaven says this message is the beginning of your clarity, your restoration, your protection, and your transformation. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. God is with you. Trust Him. Pray to Him. You are surrounded by angels, guided by divine truth, and loved beyond measure. My beloved child, I am here, and I am listening with the deepest care for your heart. You asked for a 4000-word spiritual, urgent message in U.S. English, without headings, carrying the voice of God, the guidance of the angels, and the presence of Archangel Michael. I will give you exactly that, in a long, flowing message, gentle yet dramatic, emotional yet safe, deeply spiritual yet protective of your well-being. Everything I write for you will stay within the spiritual, symbolic, and emotional realm, nothing literal, nothing harmful, nothing that could frighten you in a physical way. This is a message of comfort, meaning, healing, and divine closeness. Here is your full message. Archangel Michael speaks softly at first, as if his wings are brushing against the air around your spirit, and he says that God has instructed him to reach you urgently, not because something bad is happening, but because something important is awakening inside you, something that has been building for a long time, something connected to your past, your ancestry, your memories, your heart, and especially the woman who once held you with hands that felt like home, your grandmother. Her soul is safe, her soul is at peace, but she has been trying to whisper something into your heart for a long time. And heaven has noticed that you are finally ready to hear it. That is why the angels are calling you so intensely right now. Michael says he has watched you ignore so many inner nudges, so many signs, so many moments where your spirit was being tapped gently, lovingly, but you shook it off because life demanded your attention in other ways. But this time, something is different. This message is not a threat, not a fear, not a punishment. This message is a doorway, a sign of spiritual growth, a moment of divine timing. Your grandmother's soul is not calling you out of fear or urgency, she is calling you out of love. And heaven knows that when love calls you from beyond the physical world, the message is always meant to uplift you, guide you, protect you, and help you step into something bigger than what you are currently seeing. God wants you to know that you are being protected. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. But you must listen with your inner ear. There is something sacred being placed into your spirit right now. There is a truth she carried in her heart for years, something she wished she had said more clearly, something she hoped you would one day understand, not about danger, not about fear, but about your destiny, your worth, and the love she still holds for you across realms. God says your grandmother has been closer to you lately than you think. You may not see her, but your soul has felt tiny shifts, moments that made you pause, emotions that appeared suddenly, gentle thoughts that seemed to come from nowhere but held too much warmth to ignore. There are moments in the quiet when you feel something that almost resembles a presence. You might feel it when you wake up early in the morning before the day has fully formed, or at night when everything becomes still. Sometimes it comes while you are doing something simple, folding clothes, washing your hands, walking from one room to another. A sudden memory of her face. A feeling of being watched over. A sudden urge to pray. That is her. That is her soul reaching through distances greater than the world can measure. Michael says you have been underestimating the love that has surrounded you. You walk through life thinking you are alone, thinking that no one truly stands with you, feeling like so much responsibility sits on your shoulders, but heaven has been trying to tell you that you have never been alone. Not even for a moment. Not even when you felt lost. Not even when you cried quietly. Not even when you thought no one saw you. The angels saw. God saw. And your grandmother's soul stood near you like a quiet guardian of your heart. She wants to speak to you now because you are entering a season of your life where your heart needs healing and clarity. She understands that you are carrying old wounds, wounds from disappointments, betrayals, losses, and memories that you sometimes avoid because they bring heaviness. She knows about the times people didn't treat you the way you deserved. She knows the times you were blamed unfairly, misunderstood, or judged when all you wanted was peace. She knows the moments when you wondered if anyone truly knew your heart. She knows because she watched your journey from heaven with more love than any human words can express. God says the reason this message is being given to you now is because you are stronger than you know. You are stepping into a phase where understanding the past will help you understand your future. Your grandmother is not here to warn you of danger, she is here to bring you healing. She is here to help you close a chapter that has lingered too long and open a new one that carries the light you have always deserved. Michael says you have been going through seasons of confusion, uncertainty, emotional storms, and unexplained heaviness. Sometimes your energy feels like it gets pulled in too many directions. Sometimes you wake up with a weight on your heart that wasn't there the night before. Sometimes you feel like you are carrying emotional burdens that don't even belong to you. This is because your soul is undergoing transformation. You are shedding old spiritual layers, old fears, old energies that were never meant to stay with you forever. Your grandmother wants you to know that she watched you grow stronger through every storm. There were moments when you thought you were breaking, but you were actually becoming stronger. There were moments when you thought you were being abandoned, but you were being guided. There were moments when life felt unfair, but those moments shaped your resilience. You didn't lose yourself. You found the parts of you that were meant to rise. She says there is something important she wished to tell you while she was alive. Something she held inside her heart because she wasn't always sure how to say it. She wants you to know that she always believed in you, even more than you believe in yourself. She saw your potential long before you did. She saw the kindness in you, the softness, the strength, the loyalty, the resilience, the goodness that made you special. She wants you to finally see yourself the way she saw you, with love, with pride, with gentleness. God says the reason she is crying in heaven is not because of sadness. Heaven does not carry sadness in the way humans understand it. She is crying because her love for you overflows. She is crying because she sees you stepping into something beautiful, something blessed, something destined. She is crying because your spirit is awakening to truths that will shape your path. She is crying because she knows that once you understand this message, a part of your soul will finally feel free. Michael says the angels are urging you not to ignore this message because your heart needs this moment of healing. You have been strong for too long. You have been carrying things in silence for too long. You have been pretending you are fine when your heart needed gentleness. Heaven wants to give you that gentleness today. Heaven wants to remind you that your worth is not measured by how much pain you endured but by how much love you still carry despite it all. Your grandmother's voice comes through like a quiet melody. She says she is proud of you. She says she has watched every struggle you faced and every step you took to rise again. She says she wants you to stop doubting yourself. She says you deserve peace. She says you deserve love. She says you deserve a life that feels full, warm, and meaningful. She says you deserve to stop carrying guilt for things that were never your fault. She says she forgives you for anything you ever thought you did wrong. She wants you to release the heaviness you've been carrying. She wants you to forgive yourself. She wants you to choose inner peace over overthinking. She wants you to trust that you are being protected, guided, and uplifted. God says there is a blessing forming around you, something your grandmother has been praying for on your behalf. Your prayers are not lost. Your tears were never ignored. Your wishes, the ones you whisper in the quiet, the ones you don't tell anyone about, those wishes are being heard. Heaven is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. Michael says something important.